my friends. It's story time today. I want to tell you a situation from my life when I was 17. I'm 45 now, so it's a bit time passed since then. Throughout my childhood, I have been a very shy or timid or anxious person when it came to personal relationships and when it came to expressing my preferences and needs. When I was 17, I was going in the 12th grade of high school. In Germany there are 13 grades, and I had a crush on a girl that was going in the 13th grade, and I had no idea how to approach her. Of course, I was very shy and anxious, and the thought of expressing my feelings to her was it just wasn't possible. And at that time I was interested in psychology, and I had read a book by Thomas Harris. The title was I'm Okay, You're Okay. And this book describes a model of a personality that encompasses several parts of a person. So personality is not just one solid personality, it's composed of parts. And one of the parts is a parent's voice, and another part is a child's voice, and a third part is a rational adult intermediate part between parent and child. And I'm not saying this is correct or incorrect, but at that time I used this book to apply this to my problem, because I figured that it was perfectly correct and healthy to express what I felt for this girl to the girl. And my anxiety prevented me from doing that. So I tried one time to wait for her when she came into school and would park her bike in the basement. But before she approached, the anxiety overwhelmed me and I ran away. And then one afternoon I applied what I have read in the book to my problem, and I looked for parts within me that were more like a parent and parts that were more like a child. And then I tried to identify with the part that was rational and more adult. And I found a very harsh and strict voice within me that produced the anxiety. And that was a voice that said it was inappropriate to talk to this girl, and it could happen that she rejected me and that I would ridicule myself. So that was the parent part, and I played it. I sat on a cushion or on a pillow and voiced what this person had to say. Then I changed to the child's perspective, and very soon it was clear that there was a playful child that wanted to feel the joy and the uplifting feelings when thinking of the girl. And so I also voiced these feelings, and then I had my own pillow, and I negotiated between those two parts, and I understood the feelings of the child, I understood the concerns of the parent aspect, and I negotiated a treatment or a treaty, a compromise between the two, which was somewhat like along those lines, that the child would be allowed to express the feelings to the girl, and the parent the parent would stop making a fuss about this dangerous action, because I was really examining the dangerousness of the situation, and there was no danger, because I would ensure that the child would behave properly and appropriately, and so the parent would agreed to let the child express the feelings with my assurance that nothing would go wrong. When I reached the agreement between the three parts, I had a very strong sensation that something of importance was happening within me. It even seemed like the carpet before my eyes was kind of melting and moving like a river. And of course I was not psychotic, but it was just to exemplify how moving this experience was. And from that time on, I felt not this extreme anxiety anymore. And the next morning, I woke up and happily cycled to the school and waited for Caroline. That was what her name was. And I waited for her. Of course, my heart was beating, and it was exciting, but it wasn't that intense a fear that I was used to. And I told her my feelings, and she thanked for my openness, and then I thanked her also, and then I ran away. Of course, I didn't had plans for extending the conversation any further. Well, we ended up as a couple after a while, so the story went well, and we had a good time for 9 months then. And I just wanted to tell the story because I think is what Stefan Molyneux talks about as Mecosystem conversations. I think that was a very early form of a Mecosystem conversation, and today I know much more about the childish or the childlike parts of me, and the parent-like parts of me. And I also know that the parent part that was so concerned is also a traumatized child within me that makes a huge business when something seemingly dangerous happens. So, but it was a very early form of conversation, like the Mecosystem conversation, and I thought it was instructive to tell this story. Yeah, thank you for listening, and let me know what you think, and I appreciate your feedback. Thank you.